I always love that National Science and Maths quiz promo. The Egyptians you see no more. Well, today it's your birthday, Jesse Thomas Kweku Hamilton. And this one is coming to you from myself as Roland and, of course, your mom, Lydia. And you also want to wish some good times for your friends who are in school with you, St. Benedict in Dansuman. And you say Caleb. Marvin, we have Medwin, Ohineba, and Melchizedek. And all of you are in class 4A. And Jesse Thomas Kweku Hamilton, I wish you the best of the day. If not because of the lockdown, your lunch and good pizza would have been on me. Well, it's not a great escape. I wish I was there for you, but I'll try as much as possible to see what we'll do for the day. But that also helps us transition to look at the newspapers. We have a couple of them in the studio, but also while we're doing the newspapers, we'll take you to the Upper East region. Our regional correspondent is going to stream in studio, is live and going to tell us, since the reporting of the first case of coronavirus, what so far could be the latest update we can get. And talking about that area, I also do have my good friend Salifu Combat, the wife Flora, and the rest of the team also out there. Good morning to all of you. But in the meantime, we have to look at the daily graphic. It has on the front page, President announces interventions mitigating COVID-19 lockdown effects, and among them, water bills absorbed. We also do have 50% basic salary allowance for frontline health workers. Meanwhile, based on the interventions so far, the president announced that some 3.6 million PPEs are expected to be produced locally. PPEs include masks, etc. And that's a good thing. These are among a number of interventions announced by the president in his latest address Sunday night. We will focus on this right here on the show this morning. I would also let you in that discussion, and many of you will be contributing subsequently. Again, we also told you as part of the lockdown, we're inviting your videos, your audios, as well as your texts based on your 1 week experience of the lockdown and as you look forward to another week, which started this morning. Accra, Kumasi clean to contain COVID-19, and that is also there. And Palm Sunday without services, but focusing on page 11 where, page 3, where we have a number of the stories about the president's intervention. The president further stated that a soft loan scheme of up to some 600 million Ghana cedis, which would have a 1-year moratorium and 2-year repayment period for micro, small, and medium-scale businesses, will be rolled out by the National Board for Small-Scale Industries. These are among a number of measures as well, alongside the absorption of water bills. We also do know, when we go to page 11, the story about the exercises of cleaning Accra and Kumasi starting on Friday and ending on Sunday. And you have a picture of a masked Cecilia Abnadapa, who is the Minister for Sanitation. And it says parts of Accra and Kumasi have been cleared of filth as the country works to clean the cities, contain COVID-19 pandemic, and improve sanitation across the country. The cleanup exercise in the two major cities led to the removal of piles of rubbish on markets and along streets, while choke gutters were also cleared. And indeed, I was deeply involved in this exercise as well. You get to find that, look, we did a number of work. On the back page of the daily graphic, we also do have Eastern Volta, OT regions disinfect markets. And it says markets in the Eastern Volta and OT regions were over the weekend disinfected as part of the national exercise to curtail the spread of COVID-19. This was brought to you live right here on the channel. Many of you saw a number of disinfection personnel undertaking this alongside the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, the various MMDAs, Zoom Lion, the rest of its waste subsidiaries, as well as other agencies and companies that also contributed significantly to this. The exercise continues or ends with Central, Western, and Western North disinfection exercises starting this morning. I'm sure by this time they're already getting their loins to make sure all is done. Meanwhile, the center spread says rationalize use of nose masks. And so between the general public with no symptoms and healthcare who care for say, I would always go for healthcare workers and not the public. And we also do have Dr. Jacques Barnes. If you know you interact with many people, you have to put on your nose mask. You do a lot of work like we do, frontline workers. You interact with the public like a journalist, or you work in the pharmacy where customers come to you. You always need to have your nose mask on. So frontline workers. The African Union, though, is devoting some $4.5 million to fight COVID-19. Elsewhere, the Speaker has suspended Parliament indefinitely, but minorities questioning the power to do so. And it says the suspension raises issues with minorities who are expected to be on standby to respond quickly to any national emergency when the need arises. We go to the Ghanaian Times. On the front page of the Ghanaian Times, Accra cleared of filth after massive 3-day cleaning exercise. It started on Friday, continued on Saturday, and ended on Sunday. Has an inserted picture of Cecilia Benadapa, the Minister for Sanitation, and Housing. Sanitation, Water Resources is the rightful name for the ministry. And it says Mrs. Dapa in the middle being escorted through some streets in Accra. COVID-19 forces low-key celebration of Palm Sunday. Indeed, many of us didn't know that yesterday, that Sunday, was Palm Sunday. We're supposed to have the Easter celebrations climaxing next weekend. We still don't know whether the lockdown will be extended or not. We're hoping that it will end the next week Sunday, but it will still be within the lockdown period. So, whole Easter, you know, Kwawu and all the celebrations that were slated for this Easter are curtailed because of COVID-19 coronavirus infections, its spread, and then also the lockdown. Also on the front page of the Ghanaian Times, we will provide PPEs for all. COVID-19 update. The president in his latest address is also assuring health workers alongside they have a 50% allowance to top up their salaries. And the 50% is the basic of their salaries. Yeah. Also on the front page, Ghana extends border closure by some 2 more weeks. And the center spread, residents of 5 COVID-19 hotspots in Kumasi metropolis to undergo mass testing. Now, let me just run by you. And this is called from the last interaction. And it says the Ashanti Regional Health Director, Dr. Emmanuel Tinkran, disclosed this to the Times, that we've identified some hotspot communities. And so those residents in Kumasi would have to, you know, be at home and make sure that they comply with all the directives from the Ghana Health Service. This also is part of measures introduced in Accra and all the lockdown areas. We also do have confirmed COVID-19 cases hit 214, has an attached picture of the Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Patrick Abuaje. On the side, we will provide PPEs for all, is that President's story. And we know that this is quelled from the last address. That was on Sunday evening. On the back page, we have extended deadline for SNIT, for submission of SNITs, as well as tax returns by businesses. That is coming from a former president, John Dramani Mahama, presidential candidate of the NDC, during a donation he made to the COVID-19 team of the NDC to onward donation to specified health facilities and frontline working agencies. In that donation, were among boxes of PPEs. We have all in the sum of some 300,000 and a little more Ghana cedis to the NDC COVID-19 technical team for delivery to these agencies. Okay. We also have more than 157 market lorry parks in Volta, OT Eastern regions disinfected over the period. Again, we have to announce that the exercise will continue in the rest of the last 3 regions we have: Central, Western, and Western North regions. The publisher, the new publisher has on the front page, parties unite against COVID-19 as Ofosu Ampofo, Blay elbow greets. Elbow greets, okay. All right, elbow greets. This is the new greeting. You'll find many people, and it started with the vice president doing this publicly before the lockdown, if all of you can remember or could remember. Now it's become the order of the day for us to greet. Sexy COVID-19 escapee caught in Accra. Napo protect health workers. Otum 4 feet lockdown in need, or lockdowns in need. How we coin these phrases. AMA debt forces contractor to abandon project. And this one, it's on page 2. And it says the dream of moving into a 3-story, 18-unit classroom block by the teachers and pupils of the Fadama class of schools in Accra is far from reality, as the construction of the facility has come to an abrupt end. The new publisher is reporting. The new crusading guide has on the front page, COVID-19 fight, government absolves utility bills for 3 months. We also do have fear grips healthcare workers at Kaswa as the St. Gregory Hospital nurses beg for PPEs. They don't have it, but Ghana is not in a peculiar situation. PPEs generally all over the world are in short supply, but of course, if we can get more for our frontline workers, it will be good, because they are working in some difficult situations. Indeed, ideally, we should be treating every case that comes to the OPD of any hospital as a suspected case until you verify. But, you know, but government has put in some great measures as well, gotten a lot of commendations. Army and others hit streets, distil choke gutters, clean drains, collect refuse to ensure clean city. All these took place Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It was a great exercise and sight to behold. After the exercise, pictures were taken indicating the current state of all the things that need to be done, and the capital was clean. Dr. Kweku Oting spends 800,000 Ghana cedis on the needy. It's also on the front page. And Indum collects his car from PPP General Secretary for supporting new voters register. That's quite an interesting one. Let's go to the Business and Financial Times. Has on the front page Coronanomics. And Business and Financial Times is continuing its number of series of stories on the impact of the coronavirus pandemic on Ghana's economy and economies around the world, particularly in Ghana, Africa. And it says, no proper bookkeeping, no COVID-19 stimulus package. All this in the offing is about making sure that we get the right feasibility done to see who qualifies to get a stimulus package or not, and how much that is going to be. Coronavirus devastates private sector. And we also do have Minority Questions Unipass deal says there's no value for money. That's on the front page of the Economic Times. COVID-19 government to record 8 billion revenue shortfall. That's the front page of the Economy Times. And it says government is likely to make revenue losses of some 8 billion Ghana cedis due to the outbreak of coronavirus. And we know that 9.5 billion was announced earlier in Parliament has been based on the revision of the target. And Aka Energy put on hold development of Ghana oil field. It's all because of coronavirus and its effects. Meanwhile, the Bank of Ghana has extended deadline for non-bank financial institutions. So whether I'll see COVID-19 here, not stated as being one of the reasons why. Meanwhile, the maternity unit of Bogatanga Hospital will be closed down today for decontamination after the hospital recorded the Upper East region's first coronavirus case. Now, we will go straight to Albert Sorry. Albert Sorry is a lead correspondent in the region. Good morning to you, Albert Sorry. Meanwhile, the maternity unit of Bogatanga Hospital will be closed down today. Albert Sorry, good morning. Right.